kids in that motherfucking Coca-Cola motherfucking truck. We on, hey, they got you now. This shit crazy. I'm telling a million kids in that motherfucker. I wonder how far they just traveled. This shit is crazy.
Yes, boss. Let's do it, man. So while I was scrolling on YouTube this morning, I seen this video that I just played for you guys, and I completely was like in awe for like a good 20 seconds because I noticed this is something that happened yesterday and they never allowed it to hit the news. But thank God for this person who was recording. Thank God for social media, because if you tell people about stuff like this, sometimes they'll be like, I don't know, I didn't see it on the news. And that's something you also have to remember, that the news, they put out there what they want to put out there. You get what I'm saying? So a Coca-Cola truck was stopped in Illinois and believed to have a whole bunch of children in the back. And no, this was not a toy drive. This was not a toy giveaway. They were not about to bring them back to the foster home. They were collecting kids for human trafficking. And the thing that a lot of people fail to realize or believe is how serious this stuff is and how far it goes. For people who do not understand, child trafficking, human trafficking, sex trafficking, all in the game of trafficking, is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And if you don't know how much to be exact, I'm going to read something for you from the International Labor Organization, right? The annual global profits from forced labors and forced sexual exploitation has risen to an estimated $236 billion, estimated to be about 185 billion euros, right? According to a new International Labor Organization report. The alarming new estimates show a 37% rise since 2014, when the last set of figures were released. The ILO's research reinforces Hope for Justice's own estimate. Published last summer, our team calculated that modern slavery and human trafficking were making over $245 billion for criminals every year, very similar to the new ILO research. What the study reveals is alarming. Total illegal profits from forced labor are not only extremely high, but appear to have risen dramatically over the last decade, fueled by a growth in the number of people forced into labor as well as higher profits generated from the exploitation of victims. So if you don't really understand all of that, let me break it down to you in layman terms, right? Ever since 2014, or ever since the days of slavery, let's take it way back there, right? Everybody knows that slavery is a form of what? Cheap labor. And it's not only that, you're holding somebody against their will. You get what I'm saying? At one point in time, slavery was seriously legal. Like, yeah, you could do it. But up until like a few years ago, there were certain states that started abolishing it. Like, I think one of the last states I read was Mississippi, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me because I'm not all the way right on this. There was an article I read. I think it was about back in 2013. Mississippi abolished slavery. Now, slavery, that's something that was supposed to end back in the 60s, 70s, in the 1900s, whatever. That stuff is still going on today. Because why? What's wrong with some people in an evil aspect? There's everything wrong with it for me. But in the evil aspect, what's wrong with having people slave and make you thousands and millions of dollars, and then you could do with them whatever it is that you want? Human trafficking. And then guess what? From that as well, these people are not only slaves, but you can sell them off and use them in different ways. The kids, we can use you guys to slave and do all of our labor work. The adults, you know what? We can sex traffic you. We could do that with some of the kids too. There's no end to these games. That's why it's a multi-billion-dollar company. And something else about this that really stuck out to me is the fact that there are big name companies that really do get down and doing a lot of dastardly deeds, like doing some downright dirty-footed, shiesty stuff. You get what I'm saying? I'll give you an example. Back in 2019, if you never heard about this actually hit the news for like a brief moment and then they took it off. In 2019, a cargo ship was stopped in Philadelphia. On that cargo ship was believed to be over $1 billion worth of cocaine. Who was that cocaine tied to? JP Morgan Chase. And you have to stop and think to yourself, why would JP Morgan Chase be tied to cocaine? You have to understand that this is elite work. A lot of these people, a lot of these companies, these high-end companies that could do whatever, that's been around for so long, that's affiliated with the royal families, they get down like this by doing a lot of evil deeds, and regular people out here, they cannot do that. Because why? You're not down with the get down. This game is for us, it's not for you. And that's how this stuff goes. There's a lot of big name companies. Not gonna throw it out there like that, but companies such as like a Walmart, that type of status, a Coca-Cola, they have these powers that they can do this stuff. Give you another example. Look at Walt Disney. There's a lot of kids who get trafficked from Disney World. A lot of kids who go missing from Disney World, a place that was what? Built for kids. You get what I'm saying? You have to understand that pedophilia, human trafficking, all of these sick behaviors is a multi-million dollar, multi-billion dollar industry, because there's a lot of people out there who go crazy for a child. You know what? I can groom you the way that I want to. I can abuse you. I can raise you up the way how I want to. And guess what? Whenever I'm done with you, I can either kill you, I can sell you, I can do whatever it is that I want to you. And a lot of people don't see that this is something that is growing by the day. Where? In America. America is a country where a lot of this stuff gets out of hand. It gets out of control. And the big corporations that should at least be aware and saying, yo, this is wrong, we shouldn't be doing this, those are the same companies that are partaking in this. Give you another example as to how dirty and foul Coca-Cola is. Coca-Cola even has it online. They have statements saying, yo, we do not support trafficking. We do not support slavery. We do not support that. But yet and still, you're one of the main people out here trafficking children. And this is why there's a lot of children that go missing every year and they're never found or reported. And my guess is because there's a lot of bigger people that are behind those hits. Take another stab in the dark, right? This is just my opinion. It doesn't have to necessarily be true. There are a lot of people who are on the organ donor list. And when you're an organ donor and you fit a certain description, fit a certain type of blood type or whatever, you're on that list for people who need that. There are people in high positions of power who will pay thousands, millions of dollars for your precious organs, dog. Because why? They want to continue to live. How do you think like the Queen of England was living so damn long, and how all of these people are able to do these things? Look at Chicago, for example. Go back to Chicago. Look at Kanika Jenkins. Kanika Jenkins isn't the only person who has had their organs taken from them out of that hotel where she was killed at. There's a lot of this stuff that goes on day by day. There's a lot of people on the list looking for an organ, looking for a child, searching through the dark web. The dark web is a multi-million dollar industry. So a lot of people have to wake up and start looking at these things and stop being oblivious to it. This is another reason why they're not going to allow Coca-Cola to get put out there on mainstream media, because there's a lot of people that are going to go down from that. A lot of questions that are going to be raised for that. There's a lot of people who are going to want to know, yo, why is it you guys don't focus on this child trafficking thing, but you're focused on other little BS around the world? Because the news is set to throw you off and confuse you and show you whatever it is that they want to show you. You get what I'm saying? We're not going to go ahead and show you the real details of the real problems around the world. There are a lot of people who get snatched up while they go walking, while they go exercising, while they're going out for groceries. This is a serious deed, and this is something that shouldn't be overlooked. That's why they're trying to sweep it under the rug, and they're not trying to bring it to mainstream media light. Also, on the other hand, you have to also remember that as well, that when you're out here in the world, you just have to be on your P's and Q's. Just keep your head on a swivel. Know your surroundings. Just be aware. Just try and stay on P the best way as possible. And P, I mean be on point. For some people who don't know that. Just try and be aware of your surroundings and not be oblivious, thinking that, yo, just because I go to Disney World with my family, this can't happen to me. Or I went to Walmart with my kids, this can't happen. There's pedophiles everywhere. There's a lot of sick people in the world, and they're being multiplied by the day. These issues aren't being taken care of. That's why you see it, as it said in that ILO report, that this is something that has grown seriously since 2014 by 37%. Look at how much people go missing, and oh, we haven't found these people, but they have all these new burgers and all these new things. With the population of the world, this is my honest opinion, I don't believe they have that much chickens or that much beef to make all of these grand things. I believe some of these are human meat. Some of these are humans that probably passed away and they found good use to do with them. Like, there's a lot of sick stuff that goes on in the world that you just got to look at and do your research on, so you can better enhance your knowledge and see what's really going on out here in the world. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, remember this: words can help you, they can hurt you. But here on my channel, I use them to uplift you, because everybody's a champion, nobody's a loser. It's your boy 444 The World, man. Peace.